I'm in a city that is one of the top tourist destinations in the United States, well known for its richly preserved heritage and a river that everyone loves. But this river, more than a unique attraction, is what brought people here thousands of years ago and to this day remains a constant source of inspiration, which you can experience through history told, art and music enjoyed, and of course, the food. It's where people have always been on a mission to protect the city they love. I'm in San Antonio, Texas.
Hi, I'm Samantha Brown, and I have been traveling the globe for 25 years. Here's a great episode of my Emmy Award-winning travel series, Places to Love. Like and subscribe to join me on my adventures. Let's go.
It's been a long time since I've been to San Antonio, and the very first thing I wanted to do was eat.
Hi. Hi.
Carnitas Lonja, with its unassuming building, does one thing so well. The only choice you really need to make is not what, but how much.
I'll do your half pound of carnitas, please.
All right.
We opened the restaurant in 2017, and we serve carnitas breakfast and lunch ever since. I'm Alejandro Paredes, and I'm the chef owner of Carnitas Lonja.
So I've actually never have ever had carnitas.
The traditional dish is pork.
Pork.
Yes.
And it's stewed pork?
We just call it cooking in lard.
Oh my gosh. This is a truly Mexican dish. This has nothing to do with Tex-Mex.
It has nothing to do with Tex-Mex. It's something very traditional from Michoacán.
Michoacán?
Big bite. Big bite.
Okay, a big bite. All right. Big bite.
The carnitas are super soft.
Oh my gosh.
And to achieve that tenderness, the pork is cooked for 3 hours and then rested for 2 more.
I took a really big bite, so it's going to take me a little while.
And this is what you are known for.
Yes.
Which is a good thing because it's the only thing you serve.
Yes.
So it's a good thing you did that right.
Yes.
So why only one thing?
Here in the States, when you go to Tex-Mex restaurant, they have the whole thing in one place, and I don't think they'll take the same care of all the different items in the menu. So I decided to just go for one thing.
And why carnitas then? If it was just that one thing, why did you choose this?
We couldn't find good carnitas here in San Antonio because here's barbacoa. It's all about the barbacoa here.
Okay.
And Big Red.
Okay.
So I started cooking carnitas in my house, and then people are like, oh man, we should have carnitas here. And I'm like, maybe one day. And that day came.
But then on top of that, you have been nominated for a James Beard Award. What was that award for? Nomination for?
For best chef in Texas. Yeah.
Best chef in Texas.
Yes.
And you do one thing.
That's why everybody was surprised.
But what isn't a surprise is how quickly Carnitas Lonja has become a San Antonio favorite. San Antonio is famous for its river that flows through and below downtown, creating a subterranean escape that remains hidden from the busy city streets above. Down here along the water, you can enjoy shops and restaurants, and now, for the first time in decades, kayaking.
This has to be one of the most unique physical attributes of a city anywhere in the world.
In the early 1900s, there were a number of severe floods, and the city's original plan was to actually pave over this river. It would go underneath the city, come out on the other side. And there were a number of prominent women that were like, no, this needs to be a river walk. It needs to be the Venice of the United States. And it was their vision that actually created this river walk.
How long have you been conducting tours?
Started putting the bug in people's ears about 5 years ago about, hey, we need kayaking on the river walk. And I was just sort of laughed off. Kayaking hasn't been allowed on this section of the river since the late 1970s.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
Why so long?
Tourism. The barges move people faster than kayaks do.
What was that first kind of crack in the foundation where you were finally in? What did that look like?
The crack was no tourists. With the pandemic, the city came to us and was like, hey, how do we get locals back downtown? I was like, we kayak.
Yeah.
If you don't have the tourists, who's gonna eat your breakfast, your lunch, or dinner? Who's gonna buy your souvenirs? The city's got 2 million people in it. We needed the locals to come back downtown and enjoy their San Antonio Riverwalk. So we opened up Friday through Monday, 5 weekends in October, And we sold out all the tickets within 5 hours.
And what I love is you brought locals back into the
Yeah.
city, and what saved this, what made people realize how special it was, are the local businesses and supporting each other, and that will never go away. Being an Air Force veteran, Sarah knew how mentally beneficial kayaking could be.
Nothing really triggers when you're on the water. And it was just this, 8-year journey that culminated last year with kayaking on the Riverwalk. And it's very physical. So not only is it mental health, but it's also your physical health. And you can just come out and enjoy 3.5 miles of downtown San Antonio.
So most people are aware of the San Antonio Riverwalk, and they're familiar with the downtown area with the barges and the restaurants and the hotels, everything that's really close to the river. We're in a new section of the San Antonio Riverwalk that we call the Mission Reach. And what this is one of the nation's largest urban ecosystem restoration projects. We've really taken the San Antonio River that was channelized in the 20th century. It was turned into a drainage ditch for flood control. And what we've done here is turn it back into a natural native river.
This is the same river that
Same river.
I was kayaking downtown.
Yes, we've discovered you can actually have flood control and a natural environment work together. They don't have to have one or the other. We've planted over 23,000 trees. We now have over 300 species of native trees, grasses, wildflowers. Because these little trees, just a decade ago, you wouldn't have hardly seen them. They were just twigs. And we're seeing all the species come back. We're seeing the birds come back. We're seeing fish come back. Pollinators come back. The Mission Reach Ecosystem Restoration Project grew the San Antonio Riverwalk south of downtown by over 9 miles. And that's something that is relatively new in our community. So the restoration is actually still in its infancy, and it's growing and growing. We actually removed about 3.5 million cubic yards of soil. We were reshaping the river. We were scraping the sides to get rid of all the non-native grasses and all the non-native vegetation. And we come back and we replanted everything native. So there are some non-natives that still sneak in because you can't keep them all out.
We like to call those tourists.
Correct.
We can't keep us out. We love San
And
Antonio.
some of those we love.
We're gonna come from all over, sorry.
We welcome those kind of non-natives.
While parts of the river look totally natural, other parts have a little more planning.
This is what's called a riffle. Rivers need those as well. So as the water is running over all of these rocks, it's aerating the water. So this is actually a habitat feature. But for kayaking purposes, we have 33 of these rock-like structures through this 8 miles of the river for habitat regeneration. So we made these kayak chutes through the middle of every one of those 33 riffle structures. So what we have here is habitat and recreation all in one spot.
Fantastic. With this river restoration, you've not only helped the natural world, the fish, the pollinators, but you've also helped the community too.
Absolutely. And that was really what we were trying to tell everybody when we were building this so many years ago, that it's not just for the fish and the birds. There's 16 miles of hike and bike trail. So it's really a quality of life benefit for the citizens that live here or those who are visiting our community.
There's a reason why this section of the San Antonio Riverwalk is called Mission Reach, and artwork installations along the river point you in the right direction. There are many missions in San Antonio. The Alamo is certainly the most famous, but one of the most inspiring within the San Antonio Mission's National Historical Park is Mission San Jose.
Just walking in San Jose Mission, I see all my relatives. I even see the ones that are not here anymore. My name is Epifanio Hernandez, the Juan Band of Mission Indians of San Antonio, Texas. We are the direct descendants of Mission San Jose. I was chosen by the National Park Service to be a representative for the UNESCO World Heritage Monument Site. The reason the missions were chosen was because of the historical background, the people of the missions.
Epifanio and his wife Gloria are both descendants from the mission and are still members of the church. In fact, they were married here over 40 years ago.
Epifanio, if your ancestors lived here on the mission, they would have also helped build the mission.
Yes.
That must give you an amazing sense of pride looking at what they did.
Yes, I mean, I I like coming in here, gives me the chills because, hey, I can feel my ancestors.
And this is a traditional home that lines the walls of the San Jose mission. And so each family would have had 3 rooms like this, or is it broken up even more?
Actually, in some of them, in some cases, because, typically it was like this, no kitchen. We shared the water, we shared the stream because there was an acequia outside.
I had no idea how grand the San Jose mission is. I understand like a lot of reconstruction has happened, but just looking at the work now and understanding what they would have done hundreds upon hundreds of years ago, that's pretty fascinating.
As I was growing, and I saw my cousins doing cement work and rock work, and I'm like, I said, I started believing it more and more. I said, no, we did it. We built it, That's my connection to this place, Whether it be 100 years or 200 years ago, or even before the missions were built, Because we walked this land, we respected this land, And a lot of our families lived on the southeast side of the mission entrance. And about 1992, 93 is when they had to move. They had to get out because of the expansion of the National Park Service. Talking to a priest, and I told him, do you know what our families do when you go inside and you get ready to go to bed? And he says, no. I said, they come here, they sit down outside and they talk about their old ways, their stories, and they even cry. I said, because this is the, it's the only home they ever known.
So much of what we learn in school is that the birth of our nation began when the Europeans arrived. They came, they turned the lights on, and here we are. But there is this whole group of people who were here far, far before the Europeans ever arrived. Do you feel your story is starting to be told, or that people are starting to finally listen to what were just stories?
Yeah, we're starting to get the point across. I'm sure we've gotten the point across a little bit, but most of our stories are told this way,
As they have been since the beginning, face to face, the elder passing on the stories and history of a proud people and a resilient community. Just 40 minutes from downtown is a place that feels primordial. An ancient sinkhole is home to one of the most spectacular sights in all of nature. This is Bracken Cave Preserve.
The bats have been used in Bracken Cave for somewhere around 8,500 to 10,000 years.
How many bats live there?
We have 20 million Mexican free-tailed bats living in this cave.
Wow.
Just large cavernous space with millions of bats living in the cave. And their the body heat, and then all the guano, which is over 100 feet deep.
What is that?
Guano is a nice name for a large amount of poop in one place.
100 feet of poop?
That's decomposing, generating a lot of heat, and the ground is a great insulator. So it's great as a maternity colony.
Have you gone into that cave?
Yeah, so we have different research projects going on, but we have to wear special gear. With 20 million bats living in the cave, the air is not really nice. The ammonia levels are lethal. And then we also have domestic flesh-eating beetles that live on the floor of the cave. So if a bat falls onto the floor of the cave, the beetles will swarm all over and eat it alive.
Holy mackerel.
Fran is part of Bat Conservation International, a group of scientists and conservationists who for 40 years have spread the message of how crucial bats are for the environment.
Like tonight, this colony of bats can eat 147 tons of bugs.
Whoa, okay.
Which is really beneficial to our local farmers because most of those insects are agricultural pests. There's over 500 species of plants that we have to rely on bats to pollinate and seed dispersal.
The bats ascend almost like clockwork every night, and the way they ascend is phenomenal.
You'll start seeing the bats swirling inside the cave. The vortex of bats, we call it a batnado. And that vortex moves out into the sinkhole. The vortex creates an updraft, so it helps them get out of the sinkhole as well.
Wow.
And once it gets up to treetop level, then we literally have a river of bats in the sky.
Have you ever heard of the term bat-nado? Well, as 7:30 approaches, we begin to see one form.
So if we look down into the darkness there, it looks like the air is moving, and that's the bats are swirling. They're just inside the mouth of the cave. It starts in the back and it moves forward. So yeah, through that front.
Was that one?
Yep.
Whoa. Oh my God. Oh my God. This is like 20 of them and I'm freaking out. It's gonna be a long night with me, Fran.
And so begins an exodus of the largest bat colony in the world. All moms on a nightly forage for food that will last for hours.
Just the moms come out to feed?
The baby will grow so fast, it'll get too heavy for her to carry it. Then she puts it on the ceiling of the cave with all the other baby bats. You look at like 500 babies per square foot.
And how does a mom find her baby in a cave where there are 500 bats per square foot? By the baby's scent and sound.
Yes, the mother will call out to her baby, the baby calls back, and then she'll land on that mass of bats and sniff around till she finds her baby.
And the return is dramatic too.
And they'll start coming back in around 5:30 in the morning. They tuck their wings and dive bomb in because the hawks are here for breakfast.
Okay.
So it literally rains bats in the morning when they're returning.
Texas farmers know how important having the largest colony of bats in the world is to their crops. And I met a chef who proves it with her menu.
I'm Elizabeth Johnson. I'm the chef owner of Pharm Table. My hope was to heal both people as well as the planet with food. I wanted to create a way of cooking that was part of the solution and not the problem.
Elizabeth's menu features locally farmed ingredients to create global dishes, but always with a nod to San Antonio.
I love using natural ingredients. Here we have collard greens. Collard greens are actually in season almost all year long here. And if you notice, they're sweet. They're not bitter. And they're super, super high in calcium and protein. And so we use that as the tortilla to encompass a sweet potato filling, which is also sweet potatoes are in season almost all year long here in Texas.
Can I take a bite of these tacos?
Absolutely.
I love it. And these are the corn tortillas that you
Those
get
are the heirloom
local?
corn tortillas. And we try to also feature fish that are sustainably caught.
So good.
Well, and what's really awesome about this is the intention behind everything that we do. So the woman who is importing that amazing heirloom corn, nixtamalizing it here in San Antonio. Then you have the black cod that's being sustainably raised. And then when you take all of those ingredients that are inside, including the salsa, all of the organic, local ingredients that were made, you put it all together and it's heaven.
Part of the importance of this restaurant is how you are a part of the larger ecosystem of your community of San Antonio. You support local businesses within this local business. And so by me coming here, I'm supporting you, who's supporting all these local businesses.
I feel like everything that we do from now forward has to be even more and more and more local.
Spend any time in San Antonio and you know how much locals love their river, from its downtown commercial side to its more natural state. But it also creates more tucked away spaces that remain hidden from above. Under the Echo Bridge, you'll find a brilliant use of space where live music and a pop-up art gallery create a unique place of community that is pure San Antonio.
This is going to be a beautiful night here in San Antonio.
This is amazing. So you show your art down here as well? This is an extension of the gallery?
Yes, me and the artists that I show at Space C7, we always have an art show down here for the people to enjoy before the music begins. Cheers.
Cheers.
Jeff Wheeler is an artist and curator of the contemporary art gallery space C7, which is right at the top of that steep embankment that Jeff and I just walked down.
I just couldn't ignore the art person in me, the curator, couldn't ignore this space.
This artist is amazing.
Cesar Martinez, one of the most celebrated local San Antonio artists we have.
Oh, Wonderful. Are they all the same artist here? Is it all?
No, we have 2 from Santiago, and then we have a mixture of artists that I show up in my studio. At Space C7, we focus on Texas contemporary art, and we show not only locals coming up here, but also the locals that are well known from here, and then artists from all over Texas.
And this is C7's mission, right? Is to bring more modern art and
You got
contemporary
it.
art.
We focus on Texas contemporary art, and really with the locals.
The artists not only create at C7, but live in residence as well.
So we are in what's called Southtown?
Yes, we are.
Does it sort of have a personality?
The Southside has the most personality in town, and really it's going to be the next thing that's coming up right now. It's trying to make art and music over here on the Southside where maybe for a while it's been ignored.
Okay, are you ready?
My name is Santiago Jimenez Jr. from San Antonio, Texas. I've been playing for 60 years. I have about 85 CDs recorded. I've been in the Grammys 3 times. I've been in the White House with Obama. And I want to thank you all the people who have seen me all over the world. Thank you.
Margarita, Margarita.
Santiago Jimenez Jr. is a San Antonian and national treasure. Performing since he was 7, he's also quite the showman. His accolades are great. A National Heritage Fellow by the National Endowment for the Arts, as well as being awarded the National Medal for the Arts for his contribution to American music.
The music that I represent is conjunto music. It's a blend.
For the traveler coming to San Antonio, what really makes our community special is that you can get 2 trips in one. After you enjoy the downtown Riverwalk, make sure you stay and come and mix and mingle with the community along the 9 miles of the San Antonio Mission Reach.
When you come to San Antonio, the river is really going to define your experience. It's where you can meander along and go and visit beautiful colonial missions that date back 300 plus years. You can see Tejano culture, you can see Mexican culture, and it's just an incredibly laid back, chill place to live, and I hope that you guys will come visit.
Because of the historical background, I would say visit all the missions and experience the spiritual background of our people, because we are still here and thriving.
When locals invite you to enjoy how they love a place, when you get to listen to a history by the people who made it, when a city has been a constant source of inspiration for hundreds, if not thousands of years, that is when we share a love of travel. And that's why San Antonio is a place to love.
Hey, thanks for watching this episode of Places to Love. What was your favorite scene? Be sure to leave a comment. Now, for a full itinerary of this episode, click here. It is a great travel planning tool. And here, if you want to watch more full episodes. And of course, subscribe to my channel to see new episodes as they are released. Hope to see you out there.